So today we're gonna be doing a little read with me. It's gonna be like a cozy read with me. As you can see, we are in our library. I thought that book was overall gonna be a 5-star from the very beginning, right?
Yeah.
And I was loving the story, but the end got a little nuts. Like, what?
The other woman in this book, she's a little crazy, let me just tell you.
I'm trying to figure out what to read next after reading that. I was trying to read the synopsis a little bit, but then again I stopped because I prefer to just kind of go into the book, and honestly it just sounds like it's gonna be a really good read.
This girl's grandma, she's like, you two are so boring, you need to go do something bad. And I'm like, Grandma, what are we talking about here?
I told Charlotte, I'm like, I'm a fiction girly. Mm-hmm.
Fantasy.
Or,
Fantasy.
oh my gosh, I said
Mom,
that
come
wrong. Hey Bookworms! It's Mom here, aka Sarah.
And Char.
Welcome back to our channel. So we're sitting here with our books. I am reading from a Kindle today. From not just any Kindle, it is my Kindle. I'm reading from my Kindle today, and I'm currently just trying to wrap up The Air That He Breathes. I've read a ton of different books, which we can't wait to do a wrap up for you guys to show you the books that we read this month. And so I just want to kind of wrap this one up. Char is currently reading
The Crash by Frida McFadden.
Yes, and let's just put this one out there. That's one that I already read and I highly recommended it, so she's reading that one.
I just started this one.
Yeah.
And it's getting good. It's getting good, you know? It's like, it has like a little bit slow in the beginning.
Yeah.
But I know with Frida, it's gonna pick up. It's gonna pick up, you know?
So today we're gonna be doing a little read with me. It's gonna be like a cozy read with me. As you can see, we are in our library, and we're gonna keep it cute and cozy and warm. And yeah, so let's get into it.
Let's go. I'm not even at chapter 2 yet, right?
Are you liking it?
I'm liking, I mean, like, her writing style is so easy to read.
It is so easy.
Honestly, all her characters feel like the same character to me. And that's not bad. Because it's not an annoying character, really. It's just like a rant. She feels like a random girl you pick up off the street and you'd be like, hey, you. And this is her. You know? She's not, like, really odd, but there's nothing really special about her. She's just, like, normal.
I can't. Oh man.
Like, she just realized that the creepy guy in the corner is Jackson. Which is literally based on page 2. I thought it said page 9. It tricked me.
It's funny. Keep reading.
Yeah. Old lady. Are you gonna be moving once the baby's born? I haven't decided yet. No one will be able to sleep here. It's very selfish of you to bring a newborn into a community that is mostly adults.
I know.
It just sounds so stupid.
So stupid, right?
Are you kidding? Oh my goodness. The baby's name is Duda.
Isn't that funny?
Little tuna kicks me. That's actually so cute.
Isn't it?
I agree.
Oh my goodness. for it to get get somewhere. Because they're just beating around the bush.
Oh, they love to beat that bush.
Yeah.
I tell you, they
Right?
for hours.
The audacity. He shows up, the Tanner guy. He shows up after Tristan runs away and leaves town, and like everybody's like, "Where's Tristan?"
Yeah.
Anyways, she goes up. She's like hopeful to think that she's gonna run into Tristan outside the next morning. She runs into Tanner, shoveling the snow. She's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm just shoveling the snow. I just wanted to make sure you guys are okay. And I'm pretty sure you're mad at me." Like, after he's the one that discovered this secret, told it to her. She was left in the pickle. She should have told the truth, but she didn't.
Yeah.
And left him to go and tell Tristan himself. And he knew what he was doing. He told him, "I care about you guys. I just want to help you." So
I'm pretty sure you're mad at me. Gee, I wonder.
Right?
I wonder why.
So he did that, and now he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure you're mad."
I'm done.
Mad's an understatement, buddy.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Knock some sense into him. Are you kidding me?
Mm.
Or you just might be a little upset. Just a teensy bit. But me shuffling, you'll be so happy with that.
I love you, Elizabeth. I love you. That's his confession. I love you. Oh. Okay. Whoa, the tea is hot.
Tanner?
Yeah, just
Weren't they together before?
no.
You weren't together?
No. This guy fought for her at the wedding. He was fighting for her when her husband was like trying to pursue her, and then the husband got her, the husband married her, and this guy was still just kind of lurking out in the background, just waiting for the perfect opportunity to snatch her. And it just came to be that, you know, her husband passed due to unforeseen circumstances, and this guy is now thinking, this is my one shot. But she has other plans, and you ain't it, buddy.
Not fun.
Yeah, you can do stuff like that. I'm not one to be able to listen to music while listening to or trying to read my book.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what music. Like, I could listen to instrumental, but no words. Words are gonna mess you up. Yeah. Did it
My candle decides to go off like right when.
Oh. When she said our dad was a workaholic businessman who had a massive heart, I was like reading it as like, oh, he has like a big heart for some reason.
Yeah.
But then it says a massive heart and then attack. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. And then I realized, oh, yeah, massive. reading. I'm good. Simon, for goodness sake, I should file a lawsuit against the company that made those condoms.
Right?
Like, literally the first thing out of the guy's mouth. Like,
Tell you, like, the girl, she's just like, I find her to be so comical. Like, that's why I enjoyed it. There's like humor in there, and there's like, you know?
yeah.
I wrote a review on it.
Oh, you did?
And I wrote a review on Somebody's Wife too.
Oh, yeah. Wanna check you. Come here, Dusty. Come here. Come here. Come show your face. She's like, new space. New space.
Never been down here. Huh? What are you doing? It's okay, Desi. When I carry you up, I'll make sure you're blindfolded so you don't know.
She doesn't know how to find this place. Oh my goodness.
This is how our library stays clean. We always clean up after ourselves.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay guys, so it has been a couple of days since you've seen us last. The last time you left us, we were both reading a book. What were you reading?
I was reading The Crash by Frida McFadden.
And that one I had already read, and so Charlotte was just getting into it. And I was reading The Air He Breathes, which is a book that I've been finishing up for a very long time. Honestly, that book had no business taking that long. The only reason why it did is because it was on my Kindle, and I was kind of just using it as like a book that I'd read at night. And lately, I haven't been reading a lot at night. I feel like, well, I feel like I'm starting to again, but prior to that, I was more so like watching some stuff at night. So by the time I went to bed, I was like really tired. Anyways, I finally finished that book, and I think I gave it a 5-star. Did I give it a 5-star?
I didn't actually hear your rating for that
one.
one.
No. Oh, yeah. I finished that one and I gave it overall a 4-star. That book, so I'm going to give you a little rundown. I thought that book was overall going to be a 5-star from the very beginning, right?
Yeah.
And I was loving the story, but the end got a little nuts. Like, what? So if you're unfamiliar, this book is by Brittany Cherry, and it's basically 2 individuals who lost loved ones in a car crash, and it just so happens in the end, because I'm just kind of skipping over a lot of the stuff, obviously all the fluff in between, but it just so happens that the loved ones that they lost was as a result of the crash between the 2 of them, but they didn't know at the time. Long story short, there's a villain in the story who is responsible for the entire thing and is basically the one that shows up trying to sabotage this couple the whole time as they try to heal and as they try to grow and connect with one another. It made for a very interesting story, but towards the end, it just went cuckoo. It just lost all the...
I was honestly so shocked because when you started this book, you were telling me bits and pieces, and I was like, okay, so it's like one of those cute little contemporary romances, kind of,
yeah,
like fluff romances.
Mm-hmm.
And then near the end, you were like, this is happening and that. I'm like, okay, hold on. This has like some, almost like, you know, those thrillerish aspects.
Very much
right?
so. Why?
And then you're like, I still have 70 pages left to go. I'm like, are you kidding me? What's gonna happen in 70 pages?
Yeah. Basically, towards the end, the villain brought the information to both parties. Well, he brought it to the girl first because he's like obsessed with her and has been obsessed with her even before she was married to her husband. Long story short, the villain brought the information that her husband was responsible for the death of the guy's wife, the guy who she is interested in, and is, yeah, basically trying to, I want to say date. They didn't really put a label on it yet. So that happens, and then she's left to kind of figure out what to do or how to reveal it to him, but then it kind of got prolonged because she was just overthinking it and she didn't want to lose him. I'm like, girl, you technically haven't gotten him yet. Like this is vital information. He needs to know this, and if you gotta lose him, you gotta lose him, but you need to tell him. Characters can frustrate me a ton when they don't communicate. Well. So she left that, and it wasn't revealed to him. She left the villain to go reveal it to the guy again. You know, you can only imagine how it transpires from then on. It was just like mayhem, 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 just like back-to-back nonsensical things, considering how clear the story was. I remember telling Charlotte many a times that wow, like this author, the way she writes is so brilliant. Like she makes everything seem so effortless. Like even when the characters are encountering just typical madness or typical challenges that one would occur in other books, and other writers will make it feel like it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
She somehow smoothed it over and found the clearest ways to deliver and just make the story flow. And you're just like, oh wow, that was like brilliant. And you didn't have to go through all these weird, crazy roadblocks or on an emotional roller coaster ride. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Like, I still think the author is brilliant, but towards the end there, something just happened. It was just too much. It just went too far, too deep, too fast. I felt like it was like a whole other book. I didn't even feel like I was reading the same book.
Yeah, like what you're describing, it felt like two very different books.
It felt like two different books to me too. And then I was saying, wow, this, like I told the girls, I was like, this is giving like 3 stars right now. This is ruining it for me. It was just taking away stars. I was like, the only way that it could be spared is if the end kind of redeems.
Yeah.
You know, the story redeems the story. Honestly, I don't know what can't remember what I rated. I think I may have given it like a 3.75 stars, I think.
Yeah.
Because the ending was okay, but it was very predictable.
Yeah, it didn't
in
like...
knowing how it was gonna go. And yeah, it felt like I got lost. I already got lost, and it was just really hard trying to pull me back into the story that I was once so much a part of in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where that is for me. Let me know what you guys think on that one. A little bit of a crazy ride, but I'm glad that's over. I'm glad that's over.
Oh, is she an author that you're gonna like read again?
I will read her again. I definitely will, because I really enjoy her writing style overall. I just really pray that all her books don't wind up like that, with that sort of ending, because that will
definitely sound at least interesting. It'll keep your attention.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, on my side with The Crash, I finished this a couple days ago. I don't know what happened with this book. It just feels very different than the other ones that I've read from Frida, right? And
that's why I wanted you to read it.
Yeah.
Because I told you that it wasn't going to be, I told you, it's not like anything just like amazing, but I just thought I really wanted you to read it just because it just felt so different.
Yeah. I read this book in 2 days, basically, right? If you were to compile basically like the little times I would pick it up and stuff. I read most of it in chunks though. Yeah. Right? And it's so easy to read.
It is.
But I feel like not a lot happens in this book. So basically it's like this woman, Tegan, she's 8 months pregnant. Spoiler alert. Basically she had this one night stand with this dude, this rich dude, and he's basically trying to pay her off to, you know, for like those NDAs or whatever. And she finds out that
he actually took advantage of her.
And so then she basically is gonna go see her brother, and she's caught in a blizzard because why not? just why not? What bad can happen? Driving from here to there, blizzard. There we go. So she's then saved by this couple, and obviously
takes them in. Takes them into their cottage.
And she stays in their basement. She's
for a very
long time. She's like, take me to the hospital. The roads are clear. There's no storm. They could literally just drive there. And the other woman in this book, she's a little crazy. Let me just tell you. For all that happened in here, I feel like nothing really happened.
I agree.
I feel like honestly, if you were to collect all the times, there's just so much repetition. With Tegan, she's like, oh no, my leg hurts because she broke her leg in the crash.
Polly continually reminding us that her mom said she'd get what she wants, basically.
Exactly.
Or good will come to her. She'll have the family that she desires.
Yeah, so because Tegan's pregnant, Polly is not able to have kids, so she really focuses on, I want the baby, which is actually something I really hate. I always hate, like, well, it's like an okay trope, but it really irks me because
When
I'm
other
like,
people
don't
makes that decision.
do not take the baby. I'm like that. Like if that was me, I'd be like, you trying to take my baby?
You know,
I'm
exactly.
coming for you.
When other people try to take your baby without your permission.
And so like, all the time she's like, oh, Tegan, she's so young. She's not gonna take good care of the kid. I can do so much better. I'm like, stop. The amount of times I just had to get up off the couch and walk around with this book because I was so annoyed. And at the very end,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna spoil the ending for you guys, okay?
Yeah.
But the ending, let me just tell you, I would have changed a couple things, which is why I gave this book a 3-star.
Mm-hmm. I think that's what I gave it to. One thing about it, I wanted to know more. I think that's the thing with these books. A lot wasn't really happening, and so you kept thinking something's going to happen.
Exactly.
Which is what sucks you in and holds you engaged, make you want to keep reading, because you're like, okay, well, it hasn't happened yet, but it's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't happened yet, it's bound to happen, but you just keep waiting and waiting and waiting. So
every chapter ends with the, I don't know, with, what do you call it, you want to say like a cliffhanger for the next chapter, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, soon I'll get what I deserve. Oh no, she's coming towards me. There's a shadow in the corner, and it's just like, okay, what's gonna happen? Half the time it's like, I mean, it's Frida. If you've read Frida's books, you obviously know what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that she's dramatic and she over-exaggerates things and she's repetitive at times.
But yeah, it's Frida. You have to read that one at your own risk.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to read it at your own risk, because yeah, but you know what? It is one of those books I don't always expect a whole lot when books are pumped out in 2 months.
Yeah, she put that out really fast, actually.
Yeah.
She wrote so many books last year.
Yeah.
Because she wrote The Teacher last year. She wrote The Boyfriend.
She wrote My Sister, the wedding.
Yeah, The Widow's Husband's Secret Lie.
Yeah.
And then she wrote the 2.5 in the Housemaid series.
Yes. She wrote
I think she wrote another one in there.
She wrote a lot.
But, my goodness.
So yeah, check that one out at your own risk. I'm glad we got our money's worth, because we did pay for this full price. Well, I didn't pay for it. My husband bought this one for me for Valentine's Day. And I felt like it was really nice that we both got to read it.
Right? Exactly.
Now we can put it in a free little library, and I won't feel any type of way about it.
We still recommend for you guys to read it. Just check it out if you want.
The next book that I want to do a review on is Anniebot. Y'all. When I say I've got words, like, no, it's more like when I say I have no words for this book, I don't know where to start. First of all, who's that person who always goes into books blindly and never know what the heck they're about to read? Who's that person again? Oh, me. Yeah. Because I said I wanted Anniebot. It says things blatantly right here, and somehow I missed that. I just went like, oh, I want to read this now, take off the jack and start reading. I had no clue what I signed up for. I want to start by saying, though, I felt like a fly on the wall in this relationship. The story is about Anniebot, right? There's a bunch of robots that are created, and they're designed to basically help to please humans. There are a bunch of different settings that they can have, and there's generally like maid, there's generally like significant other, more like what they call like a, I don't know how to say it without getting flagged, where she's basically there to serve her partner in an intimate way. There's that. And then I think there's one called, there's just like a neutral, like where it can just be, but that wasn't really a setting that Annie was on. So Annie is a robot that was bought by the owner, Doug, and he aspired to train her to be very human-like, because he recently came out of a relationship, out of a marriage, and he just didn't want to deal with, I guess, women anymore, really. He realizes the challenges and whatnot that maybe was disclosed to him, but he didn't want to change anything about himself to really cohabitate with a woman and all that. So he instead went to a bot. He chose this robot, and he wanted her to be as human-like as possible, and so he really spent a lot of time like training it like a puppy dog. He trained her to do all the things. He trained her to yawn, training her to be so human-like. But then as she progresses, she's becoming more and more advanced. And then he starts to not like her as much because she asks questions. Basically, as she progresses, she's becoming more like a woman, which is essentially what he was trying to run away from to begin with. He starts taking it out on her, like this innocent bot. He doesn't appreciate her. He doesn't like her asking questions. He doesn't like her having a mind of her own. And she's also made mistakes as well. But then again, she's also a robot, so she's trying to figure it all out. Technically, you're only supposed to listen to your owner, but her owner has like, I can't even explain. I can't go into details to explain all the ins and outs, especially without using, because this book really did have a lot of triggers. There's so many triggers pertaining to like all the topics that you can think of. There's so many different things that's triggering in here. It's just really hard to talk about it here, even on YouTube, without it being sensitive. So long story short, Annie runs away. An opportunity came about when she tried to run away, and that was basically when her and him were supposed to go away, but because he was in his feelings about something that he assumed she did at the time. It is something that did happen, but he didn't fully know. But he is very manipulative and he likes to presume things, so he punishes her a ton inside this book, all the time. And one of her punishment was just basically leaving her at home. And that was her opportunity to kind of gain some type of freedom. Yeah. She ran off to try to escape, but in reality, it just did not lead to anything positive for Annie, because upon returning home, she once again got punished. I must say this story is very parallel to like a story of a woman that's really in these types of situations. Yeah. It was very, like, as I started reading, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I could never really see it just being about a bot anymore. I kind of saw it for what it was every time things happened. And that started making it difficult to read. I found myself very agitated a lot reading this story. I got frustrated with the character. I got frustrated with Doug. There's just so many frustration that happens. And while at times there seems to be a turnaround when things might be changing, it seems like it's making a shift, I still wanted Annie to pull out of the situation, figure a way to escape. Oh my gosh, I just
What was your final rating?
I gave it a 3. I feel like in my mind I wanted to give it a 3.5, but hear me out on this. I'm torn between rating this book, right? You know how some people say they don't really rate, was it nonfiction? Yeah. For me, this kind of felt like that. I felt torn. Yeah. Because while I enjoyed reading the story from the perspective of just curiosity and wanting to know what was going to happen next, the context of the story is not fun. Exactly. It's not a fun topic to read about, but at the end of the day, you're still kind of curious. Like a friend was telling you something about something and you're just like, you're interested in learning more. Yeah. But you're not thrilled about the story and thrilled about what's happening. Exactly. So it's like, I find that challenging when it comes to rating it.
Because it's like you're rating someone's experience.
Yes.
Like what someone's actually experienced. Yes. And that's what I came across too with the curious incident of the dog in the nighttime. Right? Yeah. Because it was all from that kid's point of view, and he, I believe, was autistic. And it was just like how he thought and like what he did, right? And it's like, okay, I don't really exactly want to rate this because this is actually how some people act or do things, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like I'm trying to share without sharing too much, which I probably already overshared, but it's worth checking out. It's a book that was so different than anything I've ever read. And I did find that towards the end of the book, like the beginning, the early parts, I was like, okay, like I was starting to get annoyed. And just from the get-go, after just seeing how the male character is, and just kind of seeing how it was going to go, I'm like, oh gosh, this is, not great. I wasn't thrilled about that. But then as the midway mark picked up, especially after she kind of took off, that's when it was like, oh, okay, something exciting is about to happen, because she's taking initiative to gain her freedom and to run from this situation. Yeah. But then it was just like a roller coaster. A lot of manipulation, a lot of insecurities, a lot of just like, honestly, this was like on a whole, this book is filled with a lot of toxicity and a lot of toxic traits that are within many relationships. Yeah, it just, it was a lot. So I really found it difficult to read. I feel like overall my 3 is really just based on the fact that I found it difficult to put down. I really wanted to continue. I really wanted to read to see what was to come. Like, you know?
Yeah.
But outside of that, the topic, the context, the experience, the way things were dealt with, all the other things, I just, yeah. It's hard to rate. I don't know how to rate those things. So, yeah. But you guys share down below. Let me know if you have read Anniebot. It was a quick read. I read the whole thing. I'm not sure if this is even available on audio. It was a quick read. Guys, another thing is I also tabbed. I tabbed a lot of things in this book. Okay, like a thing that I tabbed is basically like the main guy, he would have her do stuff because she's a robot. She goes in for regular checkups, and in the midst of that, he would get her altered aesthetically, like physically, so she could be more physically pleasing to him. Meanwhile, she's a robot having human-like characteristics. So these things that are happening, these changes that are happening without her consent are actually impacting her. And there's no thoughts given to that.
Yeah.
Because she just lives to serve him in every single way possible. Also, he'll do that pertaining to like her weight. Like, oh, I asked them to remove 4 extra pounds, you know?
Yeah.
And he does this all the time. And then if he feels like it's not up to par, he will then prompt her to get on the scale. Like, crazy stuff like that. Whenever she wants to express herself or whenever she's considering something, she gauges her feelings based on, everything is gauged based off of him and how he's gonna react. So it doesn't feel like her feelings get to be authentic. They don't get to be what they are, because it's just, all of this is just a gauge, because he is prone to explode at any time. Yeah. Let's hope my video does not get flagged because of this. But yeah, that's Anniebot for you. I'm trying to figure out what to read next after reading that.
Sounds like a crazy book.
It sounds like a crazy book. And I never heard a lot of people talk about it.
I saw people pick it up. I didn't really see a whole lot of people talking about it.
Probably for good reasons.
Yeah. But I did hear it's like it was a hard read. Because it was, as you said, filled with a lot of stuff, right?
Filled with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay guys, so the book that I chose to read next is Intermezzo by Sally Rooney. I've had this book since around Christmas time, and I've been hearing a lot of people share their reviews on it, and they said it's really good. I was trying to read the synopsis a little bit, but then again I stopped because I prefer to just kind of go into the book, and honestly it just sounds like it's going to be a really good read. It also matches my cap. I've seen it in a bunch of different covers, and I really like that orange cover, but I mean this one's giving too. It's cute. So this is what I'm going to be reading, and I'm going to start reading this tonight. Okay guys, I'm not very far into Intermezzo at all, but from what I gather, at least from what the synopsis says, the story is about 2 brothers, Peter and Ivan, who are very different, because it literally said, aside from the fact that they're brothers, they couldn't be any more different. And so far, it is like their father passed, and that's what kind of opens up the story. And in the midst of that, I guess they're grieving, and they have their own ways at grieving. And so the story kind of just is surrounding that. Basically, it says, for two grieving brothers and the people they love, this is a new interlude, a period of desire, despair, and possibility, a chance to find out how much one life might hold inside itself without breaking. So they're both their lives are very different as they're trying to grieve. Peter, he's the successful one, but he's juggling life right now. I think it says that, isn't he the one that medicates himself? He medicates himself to sleep, and he's also juggling a bunch of women. Yeah, I guess kind of, I don't know, obviously, just the story because I haven't read it yet. And he's a lawyer, by the way. And then Ivan, he is just like a chess player. He's socially awkward, and he's like a loner, and I guess his life kind of transpires as he meets an older woman, because he's only 22 and he meets an older woman. So I guess there's like some age gap romance that's probably, I don't know if it's taken from a romantic stance in this book, but I'm assuming so. Yeah, I'm gonna stop blabbing because I don't really know too much. I'm literally only on page 3 but that's what I gather so far.
Okay guys, so I already chose a book last night, about 70 pages into it, and it's called Rules for Rule Breaking by Talia Tucker. So I recently got this book, and it is about two childhood best friends having to go on a road trip together. And basically they're just like looking around at I think different college campuses and stuff, but that's basically the whole premise. They don't like each other, enemies to lovers. I'm like 75 pages into this book. It's actually not that long. I think it's about 290 pages. I'm like right there. And it's kind of interesting so far. They're very academic people. They follow the rules. That's the thing. It's like they're very strict. They don't stray from, I don't know, what would you call it, the right road? I don't know. They're not very spontaneous. They're what you would consider boring. And so basically on this road trip they want to do things that are crazy or rebellious. I'm just thinking about what they're saying. They're like, okay, like go on the road trip and do something crazy, and I'm like, why? This girl's grandma, she's like, you two are so boring, you need to go do something bad. And I'm like, grandma, what are we talking about here? It just seems kind of immature for them to do. He's 17, she's 16, and I'm just like, why are we doing this? It's interesting right now. It's pretty funny at times, and it's really easy to read. I literally just started, and I'm at 70 pages. So we're gonna see how this goes. I'm liking it so far, so let's read some more. I don't even think I told you their names. I feel like that should be the beginning. This girl's name, her name is Winter Park, and then this is Bobby Bay. Yeah, just so you guys know. Okay, so for example, during this scene, they stopped at a breakfast house and they're talking about the things that they want to do that are spontaneous, right? And basically Bobby's like daring her, dine and dash, like don't pay for your meal, just run. And she's actually thinking about it. She's like, it wouldn't be too bad. It's not like the Pancake House would go out of business if I didn't pay, blah blah blah. And she's like, I would be breaking a rule. I'm like, you're breaking a law. Like, why are we really thinking about doing these things? Maybe I'm taking it too seriously, but yeah.
Hey guys, so it's been a bunch of days later and we have our update on the books we've been reading. Yeah. I completed Intermezzo and
I'm not done yet. I still have like, I think 80 pages left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we definitely have a little bit to share in regards to our books, but I wanted to show you the state of our library at the current moment.
People. People.
This is what's happening, okay? The bookshelf is completely off of the wall. Yeah, pretty crazy because we just had to repair our water heater in our home. In this room, yeah, the room where our library is where the main water shutoff valve is. So it's a little bit crazy. I didn't know they were gonna need access to that, but I guess it wasn't surprising when they asked either. And it was always a risk that I basically took knowing that we were gonna utilize this wall.
Exactly.
My worst fear happened. We had to move it.
Honestly, when we were putting this room together, when we were trying to move the shelves with the books,
yeah,
the other shelves, the brown ones,
yeah,
it was so hard. This one was a lot easier now, and so now I'm just thinking the weight of the shelf was probably just the weight of the actual shelf,
yeah,
not the books itself, if that makes sense.
Exactly. We did take off, we took off a bunch. We took off a couple rows.
You took off like a cube.
Maybe like a cube, but not very much. Anyways, enough talking. Before we get into our wrap up, we're gonna just kind of move this back really quickly into place and put the books that I took off so we can have our background again. So let's get into it.
It is back. It's falling. Stop, Emma. Just stand up.
I know.
Maybe if you just spread the pages a little bit.
So we realized we still need to give you guys a proper tour of the library. I think we showed you the final product, but we never showed you or gave you like a tour of the library. So definitely be on the lookout for that so we can show you kind of like the books that we have and how we organized it. All right, so now that we have got the room back together, we can do our little update. Start with Charlotte.
Start with me. Okay, so I've only been reading one book for this thing, and that's fine, but like I'm dragging my feet with it. This is the one I'm reading. It's called Rules for Rule Breaking. I keep forgetting the title. And I'm dragging my feet with this book because it's just kind of boring.
Let's just start things off by saying, oh my gosh, did you hear our stomachs? I feel like both of our stomachs are doing stuff.
We eat dinner. We're good. We know.
But but for starters, you bought this book at random, right? Like, yes. Did you actually hear anyone talk about it or see anyone talk about it?
No, not at all.
So this purchase wasn't too long ago, but it was just like one of those random books that you would decide to try. The cover is giving. Yeah,
the cover is so cute. That's what drew me immediately. The cover, I'm like, wow, this cover's fantastic. So
and and don't forget to share the fun fact about this book. It's written by a Black author, Talia Tucker. Yeah, she's half Korean and half Jamaican, like you. She's half Jamaican and Jamaican like me. And that was just really cool to find out, because you're reading this book and it's about these two Korean high schoolers. Yeah. And to our surprise, we did not realize that it was going to be like written by a Black woman, let alone.
Exactly.
And you know, obviously, like she looks like a Black
mixed,
woman, but she is mixed.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty interesting.
It was a surprise, because Mom was just like, do you know this? I'm like, no. No. I guess it pays to open up the back of the book and see the author. Half the time I don't do it till the very end of the book, actually. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah.
So what are you not enjoying? Like, what are you enjoying about it, and what are you not enjoying about it currently?
Okay, so I don't remember if I fully told you about what this book is. Two childhood best friends or rivals are going on a road trip to visit different college campuses and different things, right? And basically it's about their rivalry and them coming to love. And is it giving the love yet? I guess. Like, they're flirting and stuff, but at times I'm just like, why is this happening? Because they didn't like each other before, and 50 pages after, I guess 50 pages, you can consider it a lot of time or a little time. Yeah. But like, I don't know. So you're not falling for it? I'm just not falling for it. Oh. That's too bad. The characters are okay. I just don't connect with them in any way. You know? That's the worst. They seem very immature. That's the thing, though. Like, okay. I don't know where their rivalry stems from, for one thing. Like, I guess it's just academic rivalry. But I feel like that's the only thing. And to begin with, he did not want to, what do you call it, be rivals with her. I guess it stemmed from her originally. Oh, okay. And then because she didn't like him, he didn't like her, which makes sense, I guess. But their whole thing is that they want to be rebellious. And I'm just like, some of these things are just, I don't care for. Just think about what the regular high school rebellious teen does, and you're like, oh, that's kind of cringe, and then they do it. Well, realistically, you have about 80 pages to go. Do you foresee the ending possibly changing your rating right now? No, I don't think so. It's gonna be a 3-star. Oh, well, I feel that, and that's not bad. Yeah, exactly. Like, 3 stars are like, okay, the book was good, but like, it wasn't one that I would ever read again or like look through again. It was one that I wouldn't mind letting go. Okay, but it was still. But you might keep it for the cover. I would keep it for the cover. The cover is so cute, I'm telling you. And the back, I love. Who does art on the back anymore? Like, we need more art on the back, because yes, it's adorable. It just makes me want to love this couple. This makes me want to love this couple. Like, force love them. It's like, look at them. They're so cute together. They're so cute. Yeah. Coming off of Char's rating, I was reading Intermezzo the last time you guys saw. I had just started it, and I was kind of giving, I think, what I thought was a synopsis, which I feel like it still really was. This book is about 2 brothers, and I guess just, I don't know, their lives on a whole. Their father recently passed, and they're both like navigating his death in different ways, but the brothers also have their own issues they've been battling with, as well as just how they each approach life and the different scenarios, including romance. I'm not gonna lie, this book was so difficult to get into. I told everyone in my family, my 4 daughters, my little son who's probably 4, my husband, like, everyone heard me. I was like, what is going on? I did hear that this book is like a literary masterpiece, but I honestly kind of found like she just utilized every big book she could find in a dictionary. I felt like when she wrote this book, Sally Rooney, let's refer to her by name, when she wrote this book, I felt like she just had the dictionary and the synopsis, the dictionary and the definitions and all just sitting there, and she's like, let's change this basic word to this, let's change this to like, because there's so many times I was reading, I'm like, what does that even mean? I actually was like reflecting back to the dictionary all the time. I was referencing the dictionary quite a few times at times to just even understand a simple sentence, a simple thing there. And let's not even get into the sentencing of
sentences. I haven't read a Sally Rooney book before, and so I'm learning her writing style with her never writing. She doesn't write
with quotation marks.
Yeah, she never indicates who's really speaking, right? And
yes.
she talks, her sentences can be one word. That's the thing. And one of her sentences was was it mutandis, mutandis? Mutandis? Wait, mutandis? Mutandis. I never heard of that in my life. Yeah. And that was just a sentence all on its own. And I was like, okay, Charlotte, what is this? You just did English. What is this? Tell me. And we both had to take to the dictionary to figure it out.
Yep.
Anyways, that was a long-winded way to explain that. She used a lot of big words in here, and it took away, I found, from just like being able to get into the book. Yeah. And connecting with the story. So honestly, the first 25% for me was like, is it 25? Maybe not quite 25%, because I read up to page, I think 69 on my own, and I was bored. I thought I might have to DNF this because I wasn't really connecting with anything, and I kept wondering, like, what's the point of this story? I didn't get it. I didn't know. So I eventually went and looked for the audio, and thank God for the audio, because I pushed through. The audio just, it's not even like it was amazing, because I was complaining about that too. It's not like it wasn't. It's more so, I guess, I had to get into it because the narrator is Irish and he had a strong accent, particularly at the point where I actually just started listening, and I was like, oh my god, I was like probably in a mood already from, you know, from the book. Yeah. So I was just like, oh, but the more I got into the audio, I changed my mind, and I told these girls, I was like, okay, I'm really glad I pushed through, because I ended up liking the book. I think I gave it a 3 or 3.25 because I really did enjoy the story aspect. The brothers are a bit messy in terms of the way they handle things. Their relationship is just tarnished, tainted, and just trying to figure out how to come together, or even just how to coexist, is a difficulty in itself. And then they also have strong opinions on each other's like lives. And the one brother, the younger one, he's relatively young, and he is in a relationship with a much older woman. So this does have like an age gap romance, and it's ironic. It's not even like the reader who feels some type of way. It's actually his own brother. His own brother. That's actually really fun. Felt some type of way. And just the drama surrounding that, and the drama surrounding the other brother's life as well, is just, you need a cup of tea and just chill and listen to the audio. I really actually liked it, but I couldn't give it like a solid 4 or anything, or even a 5, just because the beginning half, just to get into it, it just didn't do it for me. So I kind of have to settle with, I enjoyed it, and I actually would probably keep it around, because the complexities that they dealt with in here, I really liked the concepts, and I really liked just, some characters annoyed me. There was there are characters that were annoying, particularly the women, and the way they were written kind of came across as, you know, simpish. But outside of that, I still liked it, and I definitely will keep it, because I might have to what do you call it?
Oh, annotate. I
might have to annotate this, because there's just some things in here I'm like, no, you know. So that is my review on that, and I've actually currently moved on to the next book.
I'm so happy Mom picked up this book. I'm so happy Mom picked up this book. Oh my goodness.
So the next book that I went on to read is Fourth Wing. This was not even on my TBR, Charlotte, for this year. Like, it's not even on the cart. If you watch that TBR review book video that we put out, this was not included on there. So this was just at random. Like, the mood reader in us will just have us gravitating towards, you know, the randoms, anything. But guys, must I say, I'm enjoying this. I actually used the audio to start getting into it, and then I read some, and then the last few days in our lives I've just been so busy with just all the cleaning and all the different things that I'm doing around the house, and having people in and out of my home, trying to take care of this stuff. I've just had the opportunity to have my audio in, so I'm already more than halfway through the book, and I love it. I told Charlotte, I'm like, I'm a fiction girly.
Fantasy.
Oh my gosh, I said that. Yes, I told Charlotte that I'm a fantasy girly now because I couldn't believe how much I was actually loving this book. I'm like, I haven't, like, I don't know. I think I told you guys that I started assistant to the villain and I just had a much harder time getting into that one.
Yeah.
And I still will finish it, but it was, I find it more difficult. But maybe it's because it's also from like a comical stance.
It's very different than even the fantasies that I've read.
Yeah.
Neither of us finished it.
Okay.
I didn't finish it.
So for me, it was just like but this just got straight to the point, and I understood everything.
Yeah.
I just love the straightforwardness of the writing. The writing style is just really easy to understand, and the story is very captivating. Guys, I just started this 24 hours ago.
Yeah, 24 hours ago.
And I'm more than half done.
You really?
Yes.
Oh my goodness,
more
Mom.
than halfway through, and the audio is like 21 hours. So I'm in between like reading the book and listening to the audio, but the audio is superb. I really enjoy it. Overall, I'm enjoying the story. I'm enjoying the main character. I'm only saying this way because you told me to. I'm joking. Anyways, before our camera so rudely shut off on us, I think I'll summarize this a little bit later, but I'm overall really enjoying this book. I am about 60% of the way through.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I'm really impressed because I mean, it is a pretty thick book, but it's only still 500 and something pages. The audio is 21 hours, girl. And
that's long.
I really, and you know me, I generally listen to audios at like 2 speed, but because I was actually enjoying the book so much, I actually brought it down to 1.8. That's like unlike me. So I was listening at 1.8 just to kind of like get in the story and to set the ambience. It was just like an hour ago that I finally went, and I was like, okay, let's move it up to 2. I'm an expert now.
Okay, Miss Expert.
Yeah. So guys,
and
if you haven't read Fourth Wing yet, definitely check it out. Now I actually want to check out a bunch of Rebecca Yarros's books, because while this is a fantasy of hers, she writes a lot of other romances.
Contemporary romance as well, right? And you've seen a bunch of her books in Home Sense. This is a whole series, which is right here for you guys.
But her books are always really big.
Yeah, she loves to write thick books.
She likes to write. She likes to write.
There we go. Yeah. For me, I'm also reading another one as well right now, which is, I think, the Wizard's Handbook for Medieval England. Something like that. It's with Brandon Sanderson. I'm going to insert the cover here for you guys. Yeah. And I finished another one of his books, and it was so good. I gave that one a 5-star. I absolutely loved it. And so I needed to read another one of his, because his writing is just, it's like addicting. I don't know. I just love, he writes like how someone could think, but also in a very interesting way. I don't know how to describe it. It's really good. You should try one of his books. You should try one of his books.
I definitely will.
Yeah.
My husband was saying I should try, what's that one? Oh goodness. Oh, I just forgot. It was at the tip of my tongue. It's like a pretty oh, he was saying I should try Game of Thrones.
Oh.
He wrote that, right?
No, I don't think so.
Or is that Robert Jordan?
I think that's... Is it Robert Jordan?
Is it Robert Jordan?
Or George wait.
Not George Orwell.
No, it's... Yeah, I think it is Robert Jordan. I think so.
Oh, okay. So I'm not even thinking... Okay, scrap this, Charlotte. Future Charlotte, erase that. Erase what I said.
We'll insert the covers for you guys.
Anyways, but I have plans to read some of his books. Your sister is about to start one by him as well, which is pretty exciting. But yeah, we're not gonna make this too long already. Hope you guys enjoyed this reading vlog with us, because it's, I don't know, sometimes it just seems like it was daunting to follow up with the books, but if you guys enjoy it, we definitely would like to do it more, because it's actually fun. Just keep, fun. Just kind of checking in and reporting your progress on the book throughout. I think it's pretty cool. And
just being able to talk to you guys about what's going on.
Yeah, let us know down below. But thank you so much for watching.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for content. And we'll see you all in the next one.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye. Wait.
We're just gonna do a little voiceover for the entrance.
Yeah. That'll be for bloopers though.
I can't. That's so true.
Smell.
Mm-hmm. Does it smell like new book?
Smells like new book.
Yeah.
Smell it.
Yeah, it smells like print. Nice. Okay.
Izzy, hey girl, come here.
Look at her with the blanket.
Come on, blanket
What is
fold.
happening? What is happening here?
That's where he goes. she loves being down here. Look at this girl.
Oh, she really does. Probably the
She
rug.
loves, look at her. She loves the rug.
Yeah, let's see.
There we go.
No,
Oh.
that's speak for yourself.